Hey, party people. It is Monday night at 8 o'clock. It does not feel like 8, it feels like 6. I will never understand how springing forward an hour gives us like almost 3 extra hours of daylight and fucks with us by 2 hours. Not complaining. I love this time. I wish we could just stay here. I love having more daylight hours. But anyway, what I wanted to come in here and just say really quickly tonight is kind of this thing that just hit me square in the eyes today, right? Talk a lot about authenticity. If you're tired of me talking about it, sorry, not sorry. But what I don't talk about enough, we talk about authenticity when it comes to your brand, right? And being authentic and utilizing that to really connect with your people. But I just want to talk super briefly about being authentic to and with yourself, right? Because that's just as, if not infinitely more important than being authentic to and with the people that you serve. And the perfect example of that is, well, let me back up a little bit. So a while ago, I basically eradicated, hey, Carrie, the word hustle from my vocabulary. We all know the hustle mentality is alive and well in the entrepreneur world. And it can be so toxic because there's this idea, particularly for those of us born in the 80s, 90s, and earlier, that you can't make money and you can't be successful if you don't work yourself almost to death, right? Like if you take a break, you take a day off, then you don't deserve to be successful or you don't deserve to be rich. And P.S. there's nothing wrong with wanting to be rich. Let's cover that too, okay? And I think that's bullshit. That's how you lead to burnout. And when you burn out and when you run yourself into the ground like that, particularly when you're a service-based entrepreneur, which almost all of us in here are, you cannot serve your people because you are on empty. You are burnt the fuck out. Okay? So I have been really leaning into that as much as I possibly can and really leaning into each and every day, like continuing to stop focusing on the how things are going to get done, how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to make this much, and just showing up, ready to work, but also being completely open, right? Ready to be a conduit and allowing myself to get in touch with myself and go, what feels really good? Okay. And I don't mean like it feels really good to lay here and do nothing. And no, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. But let's say that I had planned on a day to do prospecting and I wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, this program that I've wanted to create, it's all come together. I want to do this right now. Well, then that's exactly what I'm going to do. And you know what? If it's 2 o'clock and I am burnt and I feel done, I usually will give myself 15 to 20, 25 minutes at the computer to see if anything else sparks. And if it doesn't, then I give myself permission to be fucking done.
Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Siri would like to contribute. She always tries to butt in on my conversations. She's so rude. So let me turn Siri off. Okay. Anyway, so what I did today, and yesterday, right? So we're on a little bit of a new schedule where, Andrew is doing contract work for it was last week, this week, and next week, where he's basically gone, he's gone Monday through Friday. Okay. And so what I discovered the first weekend that he was home is I didn't really want to go to bed super early on Sunday. We just wanted to hang out, relax, and chill and go to bed when we felt like it. And I definitely didn't want to get up at 6:30 in the morning on Monday, wake him up, and slip into my routine and not spend any time with him before he leaves for 5 days. So I didn't do any of those things. We stayed up. We just hung out about till 11:30 last night. He set an alarm. We got up around 8:30. Did a workout, super casual. And my goal was to be at my desk and ready to work by noon. Now, for a lot of you, that may make your skin crawl. And if that just doesn't feel good to you, then that's fine. But the question is, if you think about just tomorrow saying, you know what, I'm going to give myself till noon to get to work. I'm curious as to how you feel about that. How do you respond? Does that feel great? Does that give you anxiety, send you into a panic? Is that like, I don't even understand why you would do that. I have stuff to do. Because what I'm getting at is, if you're like, you know what, I really love getting up and working in the morning. I love 6 a.m. emails or calls or whatever. Then awesome. Keep doing that thing. But if you're like, if the thought of getting up, sleeping in a little bit, waiting to get to your desk by noon freaks you out, if for no other reason than just that's not what successful people do, or that's not how I'm going to make money, or that's how I'm not going to get another client, I really challenge you to look into that story that you're telling yourself a little bit more, right? Give yourself the opportunity and create the space to do some self-digging, okay? Again, we talk about being authentic to your people. How does that look when you're being authentic to yourself? Yeah? What is authentic to you? In an ideal world, and I love this, in an ideal world, what would your day look like? Because in an ideal world, if there were no issues, money wasn't an issue, time wasn't like, you had endless resources, right? Then what would your life look like? Because that's the authentic piece. Yeah? For me, what I'm learning, I love loose structure. I can't function on no structure because as a creative who also has OCD and adult ADD, if you give me a blank canvas, I will just stare at it and do nothing. But if you give me some parameters and the flexibility to move within that, based on where the creative juices are flowing and what excites me right then, where I can direct that energy, then I can flourish, right? Now, it's 8:13. I'm still kind of working a little bit, but I'm fine with that. As y'all can see, I'm sitting here. Well, you may not see, but I'm sitting here just chilling in my living room, in my recliner, relaxed, loving what I'm doing. Don't feel pressured. Don't feel strained. Don't feel rushed. Just doing stuff I'm enjoying doing. And that's really the whole purpose, right? We want to love what we do. We want to be excited to do what we're doing. So that is kind of my challenge / maybe it's not a win yet, but I want it to be a win for you this week. Yeah. Where can you give yourself permission to be more authentic? It sounds kind of cheesy and cliche, but where can you honor yourself a little bit more, right? Where can you lean into what feels good and right and authentic for you? And it may be uncomfortable at first because you might have to deprogram yourself from some conditioning that you've had previously from the world and society and all that. But try it on and see how it feels. So, hope you guys are having a great start to your week. Yay for more daylight. Super happy about that. And I will see you guys tomorrow. All right. Later.